Okay, everybody. So let's talk about why we can't be consistent. Let's talk about why we have ideas that we are not consistent on. Now, I truly believe that the reason we have ideas that we are not consistent on is because we allow external influences to affect us. We allow people in our surroundings to tell us things which affect the way we think about the ideas we have, i.e., in 2017, 20, honestly, no, 2016, I started a podcast called Research on a T-shirt. Who was doing podcasts in 2016 who was a normal person? No one. Weirdos, which is exactly what I was. I was a weirdo and still am. And I think being weird is good. That just means that you are different. So I stopped doing that because I saw it as a waste of time because no one in my sphere was doing anything like it. I would consistently have ideas of things to do on social media that I thought were fun. And once again, to my chagrin, I listened to the people around me who were not doing anything on social media and decided not to because they thought it was stupid. Um, and even if they didn't say it was stupid, the reactions, I allowed their lack of reaction or negative reaction to affect me negatively. And even when in public, when people saw me receive praise for certain things I would do on social media, like for example, in freaking 2017, I just started posting like I had this thing called a note to self, and it wasn't like a campaign or anything. I just really knew that I needed to be intentional about positive self talk. So anytime I had a negative thought, I would just turn on my phone, record something to Instagram, and say, hey, if you're having this thought, the better thought would be this to change your perspective. And then I would have people literally, two people specifically, say, hey, I just want you to know that really helps me. And I was like, whoa, cool. Didn't know anyone saw my videos. But friends would then tell me, hey, you should do it better and do it this way. And friends who are telling me this are not into media. They're not into the motivational things I'm into. They're not reading the self help books I'm reading. They're not studying psychology. They don't care about media at all. And I listen to them because I love my friends. And I've also been a people pleaser, a stereotypical nice guy, written in the book by Robert Glover. Just, yeah, I had these unwritten contracts in my head that said, hey, sorry, I had covert contracts in my head that said, if your friends say something about you because they are your friends, you need to listen and you need to do exactly what they say because they know what they're talking about. They're your friends, they love you. So I stopped doing my podcast and I stopped doing my little motivational videos because I'm tired of people trying to give me little tidbits and tips because I don't care about their tips because it wasn't about what they wanted in the first place. It was about me helping me. The research on a t-shirt, I was studying for my master's in counseling to become a licensed professional counselor. So I started a podcast because I realized when I talked about things in a classroom and I was traveling for work, I couldn't talk about things in a classroom. I would remember them better. So I said, okay, every research article I read, I am going to turn that into a audio that I can then listen to that's entertaining and then take little quotes from it and put it on a t-shirt. So if I wear that t-shirt, I have a reminder as to what I studied. Plus, I was very intentional about in this podcast focusing specifically on positive psychology by Robert Seligman and put it like basically having a quote that has something to do with like the study that the quote came from. It's like, hey, this mentality is going to help you, and here's research that proves it. Because a lot of people, they're like, oh, these things are cliche, they don't really help. When there's tons of research that shows how a positive mindset can help you move forward, regardless of where you live in society, regardless of your background. And I stopped. And I'm honest about this. And let me tell one more story. I first started recording a YouTube channel, like YouTube videos in high school. And I've since deleted probably about 11 YouTube channels. And I started recording because I saw a creator by the name of Kev Jumba. Kev Jumba, uh, Asian man, super funny. He had this video, I'm pretty sure it's still online. It's called Girls Are Like M&Ms. I was a high school nerd, a geek. You know, the concept of girls being like M&Ms and just someone who also I could see wasn't necessarily the coolest person, just making a video and just having fun and talking. I was like, wow, this is really cool, conversational and fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm very happy that this is happening. And I would come home and I would like watch that Girls Like M&M's video over and over because it was just so funny and relatable. Because it was like someone like me. So I was like, oh, I would love to do something like that. I would love to make a Girls Are Like M&M's video. And guess what? And this was like in 2009, 2008, when I saw the video, maybe close to my senior year of high school, which was 2010. I did kind of, like try. I didn't have the best editing software or anything, but I remember getting multiple cameras, going out with friends, recording videos. I remember trying to make short films for certain things, and there was always like a video or entertainment aspect. Plus, I studied theater. Like, I love film. I love media. I understand that media basically brainwashes and controls the majority of us, whether we like to believe that or not. But I stopped. And why did I stop? I stopped because of the voices I decided to listen to. Now, there are several types of voices. There's the voice in your head. There's the voice of other people directly. There's a voice of people indirectly that sometimes you turn people's actions into a voice or their inaction into a voice that says, don't do it or do it. But I listen to these voices and I let these voices stop me from being consistent. And when I look, hindsight is 2020, I see I could have been exactly where I wanted to be if I was consistent with what I wanted to do and just stayed true to my actual passions and desires. But I allowed people's opinions to hinder me. I allowed their doubts and their lack of skill in what I actually want to do to say because they're not good at talking to people in public anywhere they go. There's no way I can do that. When I can. I used to go out to the club by myself all the time. And listen, I'm not a tall guy. And I would just go out, any city. I'm talking to you. I'm meeting you. Glasses and all. Having conversations. Just like, why not? Why not? But I let people say it was weird. Don't go out by yourself. Stay at home. Be a homebody. Why are you talking to those people? You should only talk to a certain group of people because that's what you look like. Even if that group of people, they don't really rock with you. Not because you're thinking, because they literally said, hey, we don't rock with you. You're like, oh, I rock with y'all, but cool. Well, no, you don't rock with us because you're doing this. And you're like, hey, that has nothing to do with you, but I'm just rocking out. So, I tell you this because I know there are a lot of young, creative, and talented people out there who are limited by the voices in their head, real or imagined. I want you to take inventory of all those voices that are telling you no. And then just start crossing them out. Like, write them down on a piece of paper, cross them out. Mom's voice, dad's voice, brother's voice, sister's voice, cousin's voice, girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other. Cross out the voices and listen to the voice that matters, which is your voice, yours. Now, if I have to add a caveat, I believe in God. And I believe, God talks to you, he speaks to you, however he speaks to you. But just because someone comes to you and they're like, hey, God told me to tell you, you don't tell them to back up. Okay? Because people, I really don't like it when people are like, yo, God told me to tell you. God can tell me. He can tell me. Sometimes he does tell other people to tell you something, and hopefully you have the discernment to know that. But, if you have a good idea that isn't hurting anybody and it is helping you, it's not hurting anyone, it's not illegal, There's literally zero reason as to why you shouldn't do that. It's like, okay, it helps me. It hurts no one. Why not do it? Why not carry it out? Why not go on Facebook, put out a post? I'm doing a short film this weekend, doing a horror movie film, going to be improv. I need 6 actors, maybe 7. So you have one person